Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to another reading. This is the UC Summer Storybook series. I am Miss Jenna, and I am back today to read you all another story. It is Wednesday, August 5th, 2020, and it is 12:30 p.m. And we weren't sure if we were going to do more readings this week or not, but today, right now, this is going to be our last reading of this entire story series. Oh, that's so sad. But you all are all starting school again, so you're going to get lots of more readings in there. All right, so during our reading today and after, if we have time, we're going to do some comparing and contrasting. Do you know what that means? What does it mean to compare something? Whenever you compare two things, you look at them and you see how they are alike. And it can be in any way possible. So let's see. How about these? So we have two markers. How are they alike? What about them is similar? How about the fact that they are markers, right? That's something, how they are alike. So when we compare them, we can say they are similar because they are both markers. And they both have words on them. How are they different? So how do we contrast them? Yeah, they're different colors, right? One is green and one is red. So that is how we contrast them or tell how they're different. So whenever we're reading our story today, I want you to think about all the characters and things that we read about, and I want you to try to think how they are alike and different. So this is our book today, Peter Pan and Wendy. Have you ever read this book before or watched this movie? I have. I've watched this movie before, but it was a long time ago. But I loved it. It was so fun. And this is by Walt Disney, just like Disney World and Disneyland. And here's the spine. It says Peter Pan and Wendy. Here they are on the inside. Look at that big fluffy dog. Here's our title again, Peter Pan and Wendy. All right, here we go. The Darling family lived on a quiet street in London. There were 3 children in the family, Wendy, John, and little Michael. The children had a nurse called Nana. Nana was a St. Bernard dog. They had a dog that was a nurse? What does that mean? Maybe they mean that Nana the dog was like a nanny or like a babysitter, someone to care for the children. So here they are. There's Wendy and Nana, Mom and Dad, John and little Michael. He's little Michael because he's a baby. And do you remember where they live? They don't live in the United States. They live in London, England. Yes. That's it, across the Atlantic Ocean. Nana was a good nurse. She walked the children to school in the morning, and she picked them up in the afternoon. Nana made sure that the children ate their spinach at dinner, and all night she stayed by their beds. See, Nana was like a protector for them. She made sure they were safe walking to and from school. She made sure they ate their dinner, and she slept next to them while they slept. At bedtime, Wendy always told stories to her brothers. Her best story was about Peter Pan. Peter Pan lives in Neverland, she told them. It is a magic place where children never grow up. There are fairies in Neverland and wild animals and pirates too. So there she is, telling them all about Peter Pan. One night, Mother and Father came in to say goodnight before a party. They found the boys in the middle of a noisy pirate fight. "Stop it at once," said Father. "You are too old to play pirates, and you are too old to have a nurse, too." Oh no, he's making them stop playing. Father put Nana on a leash. "Wendy," he said, "you look after your brothers, and no more stories." Father took Nana downstairs and tied her up in the yard. Then he and Mother went off to the party. Poor Nana, she was unhappy away from the children. Oh no. He made Nana leave, and he took her outside. Then in through the bedroom window flew Peter Pan and the fairy Tinkerbell. Peter loved Wendy's stories. He hid outside the window every night and listened to them. Wow, so Peter Pan was real. She told stories about him. Peter had heard what Father said. "Come to Neverland with me," said Peter. "Wendy can tell stories to me and my friends, the Lost Boys. John and Michael can help me fight pirates." "Hooray!" said John. Oh my goodness. They're going to go to Neverland. How do you get to Neverland? Do you know? Because remember it said he flew into the window. How can he fly into the window? "How will we get to Neverland?" asked Wendy. "We will fly," said Peter. He threw some fairy dust on the children. Is the fairy dust going to make them fly? "Now think happy thoughts," said Peter. So the children did. In a twinkling, they all floated up to the ceiling. "We're flying!" they cried. Wow, so what do you have to do to fly? You have to have the magic fairy dust, and he sprinkled it on them, and then he said, "Think happy thoughts," and they all drifted up to the ceiling. Out the window the children flew. "Follow me," called Peter Pan. "This way to Neverland." Down in the yard, Nana barked and barked, but no one heard her. Poor Nana. She's all outside by herself. So let's see who we have. We have, what was his name? There it is. It's Little Michael, John, Wendy, Peter Pan, and Tinkerbell, the little fairy. Peter and the children flew and flew. Finally, they reached Neverland. They landed safely on a cloud, but right below them were pirates, Captain Hook and his mate, Mr. Smee. Oh my goodness. What is he doing? Look, he's a pirate. He's got a big hat on and a big cloak jacket and a hook for a hand. Captain Hook hated Peter Pan. He was always trying to capture Peter. He looked up and saw Peter on the cloud. "Now I've got you," shouted Captain Hook. "Mr. Smee, fire the cannon." Oh no! Look, he fired a cannon at them and it shot right through the cloud. Why do you think Captain Hook hates Peter Pan? That's not nice, is it? I guess we'll find out. The cannonball whizzed through the air. It just missed Peter and the children. "Whew, that was close," said John. "It is too dangerous here," said Peter. "Tink, You take the children to the Lost Boys. I will stay and keep an eye on Hook. So he said it's too dangerous. He almost hit the children with the cannon. That would be bad, right? Very dangerous. John and Michael wanted to watch the pirates too, but Peter made them go with Tinkerbell. The children followed Tink to the home of Peter and the Lost Boys. They lived in a secret cave under an old tree. Wow. So Tinkerbell took the children with her to Peter's home under a tree in the ground. They should be safe there, right? And look, these new characters, they must be the Lost Boys. So here they come. They're flying over to get into Peter's home. The Lost Boys did not have a mother, so they were very happy to see Wendy. When Peter got to the cave, he said, 3 cheers for Wendy's, boys. She is going to tell us stories. Hooray, 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 cried the boys, but Tinkerbell did not say hooray. Tink felt left out. She tried to think of something mean to do to Wendy. She decided to go see Captain Hook. Oh no! So they finally get there and they're all safe and everyone's happy and cheering, except for who? Except for Tinkerbell. Because she feels left out. Look at her over here. She's sitting down and she has her arms crossed and she is not happy. Because now she's not the only girl there, right? She feels left out and she's going to go talk to Captain Hook. Tinkerbell told Captain Hook all about Wendy. I can help you get rid of Wendy, said Captain Hook. I will capture her and make her scrub the decks of my ship. Tinkerbell looked pleased. There's just one thing, said Hook, with a wicked smile. I do not know where to find Wendy. You must show me where Peter lives. So Tink marked a path to the secret cave on Captain Hook's map. She did not guess that the pirate planned to capture Peter. Oh no, Tinkerbell, look what you've done. So she was upset because she felt left out. So she went to talk to Captain Hook and she told him where to find Wendy. And it said, little did Tinkerbell know, Captain Hook was going not to capture Wendy, but to capture who? Peter Pan. He didn't care about getting Wendy. He cared about getting Peter Pan. Because remember, a couple pages ago it said Captain Hook hated Peter Pan. Oh no, Tinkerbell. At the cave, Wendy was telling stories. Peter and the Lost Boys wanted to hear every story she knew. But John and Michael began to miss Mother and Father. Oh no, what do you think they're going to do? Finally, Wendy said, It is time to go home. I don't want you to leave, cried Peter. He would not even say goodbye. Waving sadly, Wendy followed her brothers and the Lost Boys out of the cave. Tinkerbell was happy to see Wendy go. Why was Tinkerbell happy to see Wendy go? Yeah, because she didn't like Wendy being there. She felt left out. And after she finished reading to them, Wendy said, Okay, it is time to go back home. Because remember, her 2 brothers were starting to miss their mother and father. And look back here, after she said it's time to go, Tinkerbell looks awfully happy. It looks like she's saying, yes! Outside the cave, the pirate crew was waiting. The men captured the children as they came out of the cave. Wendy and the boys were marched off to Captain Hook. Blast you, Smee, said Hook when he saw the children. You did not bring me Peter Pan. Tinkerbell heard Captain Hook. Now she knew that Hook had tricked her. He only wanted to capture Peter Pan. Tink flew to tell Peter what had happened. Maybe Peter could save the children. So what happened? Yeah, Tinkerbell realized that Captain Hook was there not to capture Wendy, but to capture Peter Pan. So she realized that she had gotten them in some trouble. And it says, the men captured the children as they came out of the cave. So Wendy and the boys were marched off to Captain Hook. And if you look over here, look, they're all tied up. Oh no, that's not good. And look how Tinkerbell, how does she look like she's feeling now? Yeah, she's saying, oh no, what have I done? I think she's worried. The pirates took the children to the ship. Captain Hook said to the children, you can all join up with me and be pirates, or you can walk the plank. Wendy was not afraid of Captain Hook. I will never be a pirate, she cried. Then you will be the first to walk the plank, said Hook. He tied Wendy's hands behind her back. Do you know what it means to walk the plank? What do you think from looking at the picture? Yeah, look, this is the plank right here, and they're on the big ship. And back in the day when pirates were here, they would make people walk out on the plank and they would push them off. Oh no, that sounds so scary. But Wendy said, no, I will not be a pirate. Wendy bravely started to walk the plank. All of a sudden, Peter and Tinkerbell flew onto the pirate ship. Peter and Tink quickly cut the ropes around the children. Oh, look, he came to save them. Look, she was walking out to it. She's all tied up, and he said, stop. And they're letting the other ones loose too. Then Peter and the children began to chase the pirates. Peter flew everywhere with his sword. What a fight there was. Most of the pirates jumped off the ship. Wendy and the boys cheered. So they're fighting back. Do you think they're going to get loose? It said most of the pirates jumped off the ship. Look at them. They're jumping off. Oh my goodness. The last pirate left was Captain Hook. Peter flew around and around him. Captain Hook tried to catch Peter. But Peter was too fast for Captain Hook. Hook got dizzy and fell into the sea right beside a hungry crocodile. Oh, wow. Look, Peter was flying around and around him. But he was too fast for Captain Hook, so he got dizzy and he, plop, fell into the water right next to a hungry crocodile. Yikes. Captain Hook swam for his life. Ha ha ha, called Peter. Then Peter threw some fairy dust on the children, and away they all flew. Where do you think they're going to fly? Peter flew back to London with Wendy, John, and Michael. He left them at their bedroom window. Goodbye, Peter, cried the children. The next morning, Father let Nana come back into the house. The children were happy to see her, and they were happy to be home again. But they never, ever are going to forget their trip to Neverland. Oh, good. Nana, the nurse, got to come back inside. Maybe the reason that they left, oh, and here's our last page. Maybe the reason that they got in trouble and left home was because Nana wasn't there to protect them, right? She always protected them. She watched them sleep. She walked them to school and back. She made them eat their vegetables. And the one time Father put her out back on the leash, they got to fly off to Neverland and almost captured and taken away by pirates. Oh my goodness. Okay. So now for our activity, we're going to do some comparing and contrasting with some of our friends from the story. So let me get my markers ready, and I want you to tell me, how are Wendy and Peter Pan similar? If we're going to compare them, let's say things that they are like. So let's look at the picture for reference. So there's Wendy and there's Peter Pan. How are they alike? Yeah, they are. They do both look like people. So let's see. We'll compare and contrast. So they are both people. How about how old they are or how old they look? Yeah, they're both young. Okay, and how are they different? What are some things about them that they are different? Oh, yeah. Peter Pan has pointy ears, kind of like an elf. And Wendy does not. How about how they normally get around? Yes, Peter Pan can fly. And Wendy can only fly if she has help from Peter Pan, right? And what about their clothes? How are their clothes different? Yep. Wendy has a dress on and Peter has shirt and pants. And then the last thing we'll do about them, what's something else about their appearance that is different? Yes, Wendy has blonde hair and Peter Pan has red hair. Wendy is blonde and Peter Pan redhead. Ooh, and I just thought of another one. How about Wendy is a girl and Peter is a boy? Right. Nice working. Okay, our next comparison and contrast is between Captain Hook and Peter Pan. So let's go back to a picture of them and we can compare. Okay, so here's Captain Hook and here's Peter Pan. How are they alike? How about where do they live? Yes, they both live in Neverland. That's right. Yeah, and they're both people. How about what they're wearing? Yes, they're both wearing shirt and pants. Okay, and how are they different? How old do they look? Yeah, Captain Hook looks older and Peter Pan looks younger. Okay. How else are they different? Oh, yeah. Peter Pan has hands. Captain Hook has one hook. Ooh, I just thought of another way that they are alike or similar. It's about something that they are wearing on their head. Hats. They both have hats. Can we think of one more way that they are different? Yes. Captain Hook has long black hair and Peter Pan has short red hair. Good work. Okay, let's do one more. So this next one, we are going to compare and contrast Tinkerbell and Wendy. So let's find a picture. Here we go. Here's Tinkerbell and here's Wendy. How are they alike? I already see a couple different things. Yes, they are both girls. And remember, Tinkerbell was not happy because she felt left out. She was used to being the only girl. So both girls. Yes, they both have blonde hair, don't they? Good. And then what are they wearing? They are both wearing dresses. And how are they different? How can we contrast them? Yes. Tinkerbell is tiny and she's a fairy. Those are two different things. So Tinkerbell is tiny and she's a fairy, and Wendy is not. Wendy is normal sized and she is just a human. And what else? Something that Tinkerbell has. Yes, Tinkerbell has wings. And Wendy does not. And also, Tinkerbell can do what? She can fly all on her own. And Wendy cannot. She needed help. She needed the fairy dust, and she needed to think happy thoughts. Look at all of these comparisons and contrasts that we did. We compared and contrast Wendy and Peter Pan. We compared and contrast Captain Hook and Peter Pan. And we compared and contrast Tinkerbell and Wendy. Good working. So remember, when we compare and contrast, when we compare, we are describing how two or more things are alike or similar. And then when we contrast things, we are telling how they are different or things that they do not have in common. All right, guys, good work today. Thank you for joining me for our 8:30, 10:30, and now 12:30 readings. Thank you all so much for everyone who participated and who came to watch our readings and do the activities with us. It's been a great time, and hopefully we will do it again in the future. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a great rest of your summer.